Something that recently happened. I met 50 Cent in a nightclub in in Miami, and I was trying to introduce myself, and he's like, "I know you, man. You're the Ray Donovan of India. I know that." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay, that's pretty cool." I was like, "That ticked the box off." So yeah, I guess that was fun.
Yes, amazing.
Epic.
Whoa!
Epic answer.
Actually,
Epic.
Do you want some time? Do you want to breathe?
I'm really good. Going against the trend of being humble.
We have a new job profile.
Yes.
Now. Oh,
Cool.
that's what.
All right, then.
But middleman is like a legit job, right? Middleman.
Now you're comparing middleman to Rana.
Problem solver.
Just call you.
But now it's on the Shadi.com profile.
Yes.
Also, right?
Like Naukri has a section now.
Shut
up.
Is this a joke?
Season 3, what do you want? Something in season 3.
Something I want in season 3.
Yeah.
Alia's character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I bottled it like Rana.
Where did you hear all the laughter? The team of Rana Naidu is here.
Hello.
I mean, what a great trailer. Everyone's amazed. And you guys also gave the world a new career option, fixer.
Yeah, that's Rana. Rana.
Really?
The show gave.
Really?
Yeah,
Was there not already fixers?
No, nobody knew about that one could be a fixer.
Why you don't? Okay, fixer is just a sophisticated word for a jugaad, right?
Jugaad.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
but
thrive on jugaad, yeah, in life.
Amazing.
What are you talking about?
Everybody has a Rana in their
but
lives.
nobody took that seriously, that you could be just a fixer. Yeah.
Oh, like that.
Like we have a new job profile.
Yes.
Now. Oh,
Cool.
that's what.
All right, then.
But middleman is like a legit job, right? Middleman.
Now you're comparing middleman to Rana.
Problem solver.
Just call you.
But now it's on the Shadi.com profile.
Yes.
Also, right?
Like Naukri has a section now.
Shut up. Is this a joke?
No, I'm serious.
Oh, now he's doubling down.
Yes, but
It's
tell
a
me,
joke.
do
That
you,
should be.
It's a joke.
like any one of you remembers like what has been that weirdest, craziest feedback that you got about the show, like when it released 2 years back? Something that's
Achhi
just
memory
memorable.
Okay, the best for me, I'll jump in while
Yeah, please.
Please
everybody's
do that.
thinking. The best for me was I was in Goa and was having dinner at this really wonderful restaurant. The chef came up to me and was chatting and just happened and said, I asked him what he was up to, and he said, "Oh, I've been binging this show, man. I can't stop watching it, Rana Naidu." And he just kept going on and on about it. He didn't realize I produced it. That was fun.
Amazing. Rana, for you?
For me, there's something that recently happened. I met 50 Cent in a nightclub in in Miami, and I was trying to introduce myself, and he's like, "I know you, man. You're the Ray Donovan of India. I know that." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay, that's pretty cool." I was like, "That ticked the box off." So yeah, I guess that was fun.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you said it all. We
Yeah.
just should be mum now.
Cool.
Yeah, that was the
Mic
best
drop.
one, right?
Yeah. That's
Mic drop moment.
Yeah,
Mic drop
exactly.
moment.
Mic drop moment, absolutely. Yeah.
But also tell me, how did the audience back home took, of course, you and how Venkatesh sir's character was, like how was the feedback from there?
I mean, first, this series format was not watched before, like in Telugu as much,
Yes.
because no Netflix
Right.
or any of the other platforms made large size shows for Telugu. And I think this somewhere was the first one that translated and landed up there. There'll be a shocker to what it was,
Yeah.
but there was obviously a larger part of the auditorium that connected to it, which is why it became such a large show.
Absolutely.
So I think that was fun. It's always
Yeah.
fun to do new things.
Right.
And after that, so many characters that came that were in this zone that Rana Naidu suddenly became normal.
But seeing Venkatesh sir, of course, do what he did in Rana Naidu, that must have been a surprise for people back home.
Yeah, but that's exciting. No, every time an actor comes and does something
Yeah.
new, there's one set that
Right.
might not like because there's a certain way that they've already consumed you.
Absolutely.
But then you build a newer audience.
Yeah. Karan, tell me, what was the pressure like to make Rana Naidu 2?
The pressure was all happy pressure because just had Netflix told us let's try and make it bigger, make it more fun, make it more add more characters. So for us, I think the idea was, the pressure was to how do we balance all of this, right? Like to how do we get a whole new family in the Oberois?
Right.
How do we amp up the action? So we did away with the episodic sense of the fixing that Rana was doing in the first season, and it's become about one fix now. So the
Okay.
entire season is about one fix that he needs to do.
Right.
and you know all the action and all the hurdles that he has to jump over and get through. And so on one side you have this second dysfunctional family in the form of the Oberoys, but on the other side you have Arjun Rampal's character, Rauf, who comes from the underworld, and it's like this whole mess that Rana finds
Right.
himself in between.
Yeah.
With Naga thrown in.
Of course, with the whole family, that goes without
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I think it was just such interesting characters. You've not seen these kind of characters in such a dynamic. So I mean, yeah, I think these complex characters, this kind of dysfunctional family,
Yes.
I had not seen before in Indian cinema, Indian television, or Indian streaming actually. So to be a part to chance to kind of come and be a part of
Right.
that and kind of play in this playground of all these characters, which is
Absolutely.
there's so much grey zone in there, which is fun to play always as a creative and a maker to
Yeah.
kind of explore this kind of nuances of morality and stuff. So I think it was a lot of fun. And I said I think this time it's even bigger, it's even better, more emotional, more action. So
Yeah.
it was really fun.
I was a fan of season 1.
Wow.
I think it's one of the best written shows. Between Vaibhav Vishal and Karan, they've written a fantastic series. Like the season 1 was fantastic. And I think what I loved most about Rana Naidu season 1 was that every character was given a certain level of preference,
Yeah.
was really detailed, extremely detailed. When my script came to me, it even had a watch name brand mentioned ki Alia Oberoi ye pehnegi.
Wow.
So that's the kind of detailing that
Yeah.
goes into each character. And you know, you always want to be seen. You want to be, you want someone to look at you and say, okay, this is an experience. And I think I found that on paper, and
Yeah.
I was very confident that I could do justice to it. It's also something I've never done before.
Yeah.
So it gives me a chance to kind of explore that side and maybe open up a few more opportunities for
Right.
myself.
But Abhishek and Surveen, you tell me, like, when a season 2 comes your way, like, is that the commitment that you have with the show, that you will always say yes, or you also have your take that you want to read the script, you want to see how your character is evolved? How do you kind of look at it when something that's already there is coming back with
You
a
think
second season?
they're the people who say yes on obligation? Huh? Just asking. Do you know them at all?
I think the
There you go, please, please, please.
Please, please.
I think the reason why you say yes to a show is also the safe hands that a project is in.
Right.
Right? That becomes very, very important. So once you've said yes to it, and obviously the hands don't change. Right? And as long as you're in safe hands,
Yeah.
you will keep coming back and you will keep saying yes. And
Amazing.
I mean, with Karan, Suparn, Sundar, I mean, I don't need to go to the
Yeah.
script because
Wow.
I'm
You trust
very
them,
sure
yeah.
and I'm very secure that they will do absolute justice, whether it's on paper or it's a matter of execution
Right.
to Nena. Period.
Super. Super.
Yeah.
Abhishek?
Yeah, I mean, I just enjoy the character, Jaffa. I really do.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's something which I have not done, and I know it's very complex, very layered, so that's why I enjoy it more. So it's also like, for me, like an acting school, the set. I'm also learning, because it's not easy to,
Right.
you know, somehow feel some of the emotions. So I take it like a acting training thing.
Yeah. Amazing. Rana, also tell me, like, how do you emotionally detach yourself from a character that is so dark and full of rage? Like, how do you kind of, when the cut happens, like, is it easy for you?
It's not. It's not like a switch on, switch off. It's really not like that. I think there's a certain process from the time you've read it to the time you start filming it.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Have a switch off though, but it'll take a while before you get out of something. And I think that's the whole point. You're trying to live somebody else's life.
Right.
So I enjoy just being somebody else for some period of time. You start thinking like him. You start living like him. You can do whatever, but there's no consequences in the real world for that. So I think that's something that I enjoy.
Right.
So I don't know how the off comes. I think the off comes with another story, and it throws you away from this. That's
Right.
usually how it happens.
Right, right. But recently a video of yours, Rana, where your mobile fell down after you bumped into someone, that just kind of got people to see a different side of you, where you're speaking maybe a little aggressively to the pap. Like, how did you
So I
take
don't
that?
call paps. I don't like
Yeah.
them. I don't like them in my personal space, and I've been very vocal about it. They come outside my house, so I've respectfully told them that too. I've told them at airports, but they still landed up, and I
Yeah.
think that's pretty annoying. And in the process of that, I had to drop my phone because there's so many next to me, and they were filming that too. So I think make content with someone who's paying you and calling you for it. No, don't make it with the ones who don't want to be on there.
But is the pap culture also
No,
there?
it's not there in the South.
Okay.
No, privacy is respected quite heavily.
Yeah. So you wanted to
No, I
start?
just want to say, I mean, it's mutual respect, right?
Yeah.
You respect somebody else's boundary, and we know you're doing a job, but you know, like he said, do it with the people
People who
who
want
are
to.
happy to have you there.
Yes,
Do that, and if
absolutely.
somebody is not okay, you can't cross that line.
True.
You know?
But a lot of shows are also not getting green light for the second season. We've had the Kala Pani, there's Guilty Minds that has been cancelled. How do you look at it? Because it's also said because it's for budget issues. Like how does one strike a balance there?
You have to work with what you get, and you know, sometimes you do things and you make shows and you put all your heart into it, and they don't get the traction that you expect, or the second season is much too ambitious, and then you know, you have, I mean, everything is a balance of what the budget is, what are the expectations, and how well it did in the first season, and if it all comes together, and you know, we have to see if it works for the story, I think, at the end of it, that you have in mind, and if it sort of matches and, you know, ticks off all the boxes, then you'll have a second season.
Yeah. So now you want to add to that, because how important does it get to have that monetary balance? That balance sheet needs to be like sorted when it comes to, because there's content is good, but what about the financial aspect of it?
Well, I don't think there is necessarily a direct correlation between budget and whether a show is good or not. I mean, we've seen shows from all around the world that are made on a lesser budget. We're gifted with a partner that is able to give us the resources to actually deliver on a big grand vision.
Right.
So we're thankful for that. But of course, like Karan was saying, you have to make your show within context. You can call yourself an artist or a creator, but you have to remember the context of what you're making your show, your film in. And right now the context is it's a market that is rationalizing, that is tightening up a little bit. And while you know, we still are privileged to make a show or a film, we also have to keep in mind the economics and what our partners, whether it's a platform or a studio, are up against as well.
Of course. Abhishek, also tell me, like, of course, your performance, be it Hathauda Tyagi, Jaffa, Jana, all these worked because it was so fabulously well. But in a time, because you're also casting for people, other people, there's this trend of casting people on basis on social media numbers. Have you ever faced that when a production house has told you that we want someone just on the basis of numbers, and how do you kind of react to it, because you know that if, only a talent can take you ahead?
So I think I really stopped actively casting since COVID times, you know, and
But
this
you still
trend.
have a company, yeah.
Yes, I do, but this is a trend which I have heard in the media and the news and all that. So I always checked with my partner Anmol whether something like this happens, and he said yes. Sometimes in brands it happens. Sometimes, you know, when you're casting something, they might ask you for, you know, the higher number of followers, actors and all of that, but it's on you, like how do you tackle that?
Yeah.
So we never did that, but it is a common practice. And but you know, I think that's what I'm saying, it's final decisions are always the creators. I don't know if aapne koi follower dekh ke koi casting ki
We
hai
have
kya?
never done that ever.
But as an actor, do you feel that's also unfair?
Of course it is. Well, it's not unfair to an actor. It's unfair to the story, because if you're not casting the right
the basis of
actor
talent,
for the
Talent.
character, it's not
Numbers.
about who is getting what.
Right.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
But it's ki aap kahani mein, you can't like just cast somebody thinking that the numbers of followers are higher. Then that's not a creative casting. So then you're failing there only. First
also
step
I
is
think
there.
it's also unfair to the actor. Like sometimes you're deserving and you don't get that opportunity because someone has 1 million more following than you.
Yeah, she
And
told me that she lost
it's
the
happened
role.
to me.
Oh my God.
So I mean, shared it with
I'm
him
sorry,
in
I've
confidence,
been, no,
but great.
Sorry, ऐसा secret था क्या?
हाँ, मैंने कभी किसी से बात नहीं करी थी इस बारे में.
No, but
yeah.
it's important that you speak out. Like, you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I
for
think
1 million
not when you're
followers, she has so
promoting your
many
show.
followers, but you know, still crazy.
No, but I was clearly told. I mean, I know my audition went well. I mean, I'm someone who still auditions. I want to audition. I want to earn that part. And very frankly, the casting director called me up and he said, "Listen, tu bahut achhi thi, but this is why you're not getting the part." And he was very honest about
Right.
it. And Abhishek even told me कि हर चीज नहीं मान लेते. I agree, but it wasn't my
Yeah,
first
sometimes they're
experience.
just like saying it
It was
for-
the first time I experienced it myself.
Yeah.
But I know of a lot of people who have been through those experiences,
Right.
and it's their story to share. So I'm not going to share that here, but it's true. It happens.
Was it a film or a series?
It was actually an original. What is it? तेरे को तो पता ही होगा.
Series
Film
tha,
है.
film tha, okay, maybe.
Film है. हाँ.
But it's not about influences versus actors, not that tangent.
Right.
It's just about the right casting for the character. Whether that person is on Instagram or not,
Yeah.
that should not also matter. That
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, it doesn't matter in many
It
cases.
shouldn't matter.
Doesn't.
There is
It
a
should-
fallacy in the
Instagram
thinking,
is just a
honestly, that
tool to
numbers,
promote yourself. That's
someone's
it.
followers can really get you success in your show
Yeah.
or film. I think that's a wrong thought process
Absolutely.
on the basis of casting.
Also,
And then good actors suffer.
also in a country like India, fame on the gram and fame on the streets are very different.
Yeah.
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 You know, you might be very famous on Instagram, but ab
True.
jaoge koi nahi pehchanega.
Yeah. That
And the
is so
second
true.
thing is that you go to a mithai wala and everybody knows you.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
that's the kind of
Yeah.
fame we
Yeah.
experience here.
Right.
Yeah.
And Surveen, recently the entire controversy around Deepika and Vanga, of course, created a conversation
ये
around
सवाल
let's-
हमेशा मेरे पास ही
because you are also a new mom. You've of course gone through your motherhood share of struggles. Did you actually face, and do you also agree that new moms should be given that leverage, that the industry is accommodating enough for a new moms?
Absolutely, and I was actually very lucky,
Right.
Because I was shooting for my show barely about a year into being a mom, and I think I was extremely lucky because A, I did give the number of hours that I had committed, but B, there were times when there was flexibility, and I mean the makers were really, really accommodating, and they were expecting some back and
Right.
forth might happen.
Yeah.
And I think we need to support that in whatever best way possible.
Right.
Right. There are limitations as far as producers and makers, and there is so much at stake and so much involved, right? Financially as
Absolutely.
well. So I'm saying it's all right. But whatever best way possible, I think we should be able to support that. And it's not just, I'm not going to be gender biased, right? Even in general, I feel as actors, male, female or otherwise, we need to be a little moderate about the whole shift times, in the sense of it's an very, very exhausting job. Emotional investment is
Right.
very, very high, and I feel to be able to kind of balance some sanity and not have burnouts, I think is very important. Every other job that you see or any other profession, you have timings, you have time, you have weekends.
Absolutely.
I'm saying at least you have a weekend. Okay,
Weekend, yeah.
you're working Monday to Friday,
You have a break,
but then
yeah.
or Monday to Saturday, but then you have a day's break. I
Absolutely.
mean, if one could create a structure, formal structure,
Right.
I think would be
Right.
great with,
Right.
of course, flexibility, which is mutual. Right?
And Rana, because you're also an actor and producer, how do you look at this entire discussion? And what's
First,
your
I
take?
think nobody is actually speaking about the issue that's really in hand. This is a fact of that there's been an issue on just number of hours is not the only thing. There will be many
Yeah.
more details between
Yeah.
two people not
Absolutely.
working together. And I feel like from two people's conversation, it has become about work-life balance.
Yeah.
Like we are a extremely developed and rich country, we're talking about it. So I think like things should be given on like slightly more important things need to be given a discussion rather than this. So
Right, right.
this is based on who can finish a film based on what their timings are, industries. It's too varied to have a generalized discussion on it. It's not a factory where you can have labor time and say this shift is over, move to the next shift. That's not the business we're in.
Right, right. There was also another discussion that the language issue, that maybe she didn't want to say her dialogues in Telugu. Like how
did she
do,
say?
because you
She didn't want to
also,
say it?
no,
Oh, that's
because
what-
you also worked in multiple language. How important is an actor to adapt
If
to
you want to
the,
be in the other language, you have
Yeah.
to learn the other language. If I'm here and speak, I say I won't speak Hindi lines, they'll
Right.
fire me, from this set.
Yeah.
They will find a guy who can speak Hindi. So I think if you're in a
Yeah,
Telugu film, you have to
absolutely.
learn how to speak Telugu.
Absolutely.
She's worked in Telugu, she's worked
Yes.
they speak the language. He's working in a Tamil film, he's learning the language.
Yeah.
You
I'm
got to
speaking in
learn
a
the
Hindi
language.
film,
Yeah.
I'm learning the language.
Right.
You have to do that.
I think
Yeah.
if you want to be in another place, you have to learn the language.
Absolutely. And lastly, I wanted to ask you guys if there's a Rana Naidu season 3, which I hopefully it happens. What is that one wish list that you have that it should have that?
First, I want 2 to be an outstanding blockbuster beating 1.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
multi-fold.
True.
And then I'll
True.
tell you what I
I
want in
second
3.
that.
Yes, please.
I've already told Karan what I want in 3, so my
But
job's
we
done.
want to
No,
hear
I
that.
can't tell
Season
you.
1. Since season 1. You can tell him.
No, I'm not going to tell her. No, why? Don't.
Comes, it has to come like a
Yeah,
bang.
something.
Because that could happen.
Come on, Rana Surveen.
No, I just want this to be
You're not
like,
going to get anything
like
out of me.
blow out.
on this
Season 3, some international location. Maybe.
Oh.
Ah, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's
I'll
not
take it.
bad at all. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Take it.
Rana Naidu in Maldives.
Goa is still considered
underwater.
Portugal.
Yeah,
in
because
some
then
ways.
the
Yeah, Portugal is interesting.
Have a free hand.
Very good.
Yeah.
Spain.
No, I mean
Spain.
Portugal.
Like a
I mean
Portuguese
Portugal.
colony
yeah.
No, I don't mean.
Yeah.
I mean
was.
Kriti,
Still feels
you
very
have
Sorry?
European.
Mashup between.
season 3. What do you want? Something in season 3.
Something I want in season 3.
Yeah.
Alia's character.
Yeah.
That's like rude.
Spoiler.
That's like a
Okay, Alia's character doing what? Please tell us.
Alia's character doing what? I mean, honestly, as someone who's not lived with the show from season
Yeah.
1, it's a little hard for me to.
hard.
As you can see, I'm really trying to find my place here. Hopefully, by season 3, I'll find my place here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Karan?
That was such a
what?
producer. You.
No, I thought.
Seriously.
Oh my god.
What out of season 3? I think I just want season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the present right now. I mean, let's all be a bit mindful and a bit present. We're so grateful for this show and for all of my colleagues and associates and collaborators on this show. And I want it to be something as a gift to our audiences that they love and revere.
Yeah.
We'll start with that.
Amazing.
Amen.
To be blessed with the love of the audience like you in season 1 and hopefully season 2 into season 3 as well. So.
Okay. Abhay, you have the last word.
Epic! Let it be epic.
I was grateful to get the
Legendary.
opportunity to do season 2. So I hope season 3 will be more legendary.
Legend. Nice. New word.
Thank you so much and all the best
Thank
for
you.
your
Thank
This
you
is
so
the best.
much.